Perfect. 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 Perfect.
Testing. All right, there we go. What's the motherfucking deal, man? I apologize. Look, Jack, I ain't gonna lie to you. I pulled an all-nighter last night. I went to bed this morning, like 6 o'clock. I didn't realize how late it was when I got up. And it was like 1, a little after 1. I had to get fresh, had to get everything right. But thankfully, I set everything up for today in advance. But welcome to Sauce Sports, man. If you're not familiar with Sauce Sports is a Houston, Texas homer network. Man, we're talking all sports, but only Houston today. We're finna get into this Rockets versus Golden State Warriors, man. Now, this is the matchup that we have been waiting for all year. Like, they should have just threw the whole rest of the NBA season away. Like, it shouldn't even been an NBA season. They should just let the Rockets and Warriors play each other every night for 82 motherfucking games. Nobody else really matters. I can talk about Giannis and all that dumb shit if y'all want to. We know that shit is irrelevant. We know that shit has no meaning in the realm of real basketball. And it's unfortunate that the West is so stacked the way it is. And they may need to come up with another format because, one, you let these guys in the East look like they're really doing something. Giannis ain't doing shit. He's playing against weaker competition. They got to figure out a way. They just need to just jumble it all together and just have a random lottery fucking schedule because the East is it's been weak for decades. You know what I mean? And it's not getting any better. It's not even close. LeBron was the best thing that happened to the East, and now that he's gone, you see how somebody else looks like they're relevant when in reality they're not. You take any of these teams in the West, you can take the bottom tier team in the West, and they'll be a mid-range to top tier team in the East. It's trash. Like when you let trash play against trash, it makes the not so stinky trash look like, hey, this might be salvageable. You know what I mean? And then fucking team from the East get their ass blown out in the motherfucking finals, and it's not interesting. This is the biggest matchup. Last year, it was the biggest matchup. Like, the NBA has to find a way to save the best for last. And right now, that's not what's happening. But anyway, all of that shit is relevant. Let's see what we got joining us. What fresh ingredients we got joining us this evening? I see DeMarcus Johnson, I see Asmel, I see Wink. What's the motherfucking deal? That Bean Holmes, Kenneth Cologne, what's the motherfucking deal? Roman 335, what's the motherfucking deal, man? Hey, look, here's the deal, man. Here's the deal. All right. I got different opinions on the movie. That's all I'm gonna say. It wasn't bad, but we gonna talk about that later. We'll talk about that in the day of the night, man. Edwin Baptiste, what's the motherfucking deal, man? James Harden, you should be warming up like the game's in a few minutes, so I don't even know what you doing in here. You need to be, doing your own thing. But let's talk about it, man. All right, let's talk about it. Warriors, Rockets, okay? Regular season is in many ways irrelevant, but I'm telling you, like the Warriors, this is what pisses me off about the Warriors, because they got this little shitty bitch ego, right? And deservedly so, but in reality, it's a bunch of fucking fruitcakes that play basketball together. Like, the Warriors are those dudes who went to nice schools, and you can't fault them. Their parents put them in a good position. These are the guys that went to the nice schools, that went to all the camps. They really weren't naturally gifted, but they went to all these camps. Their parents pushed them when they were young to get really good, and they became good. And as a unit, they can work anybody. The Rockets are niggas who were just natural, right? They were natural, and they had to go and they got it off the mud. They got it on the concrete. You know what I'm saying? These are the niggas that got it out the playgrounds. Playing against niggas who wasn't playing technically by the rules. These niggas are the ones who had to go and work for the shit. Again, you have no one to blame. Management did what it had to do. They brought together a nice team. I think KD's still a mark. I mean, he is a mark. It's always going to be. How do you have that much money in your head still nappy? How many seasons has KD been in the league? There is a cure. I'm sure Dr. Sebi had something for it. How's your hair? How you still got BDBs? You could have a professional brusher when you not on the court, when you not hooping, nigga just follow you around. When anytime you sitting down, your arms tired, you've been shooting all day, just to break. Maybe that's what it. Maybe been shooting so much, his arms don't have the energy to brush that shit. That shit look rough. You know what I'm saying? That nigga need that a real solid board brush. But anyway, let's get to the matchups, right? Let's talk about this team. Let's talk about why this is personal to Rockets fans. Warriors fans act like, oh, it's another game. But we know them bitches was crying last year when they were on the brink. They were crying, they were bitching. They got away with a lot of dirty shit in that last game, moving screens, some fouls that weren't called. We could talk about a lot of shit. The Rockets did not help themselves by shooting so poorly. Trevor Ariza did not help us by doing shit. Regardless of the defense, if you're just a body out there, you can't be contributing for, 2 or 3 points to be out on the court that long. What you're really contributing is worthless. James had a little bit of a slump, but what kills me is still, if you go back, there was a foul that occurred when they talking about, Rockets missed 27-3. That's not true. That's absolutely not true. Because James hit a shot, but I want to say it was Foster that called it on the floor, but it was in the act of shooting. So it is what it is. Yeah, I saw that Austin Rivers is going to be out. Shumpert will be in. So I know people have been kind of on and off about Shumpert this year. So we'll see how that pans out. I am kind of sucks that Austin's not there. Austin's been a good energy guy in that sense. He's been a good teammate, a good motivator, if you will. But let's talk about it. Curry has the ankle, supposedly. Clay has an ankle, supposedly. So people will try to use that secret. Clay, they came out, they had her ankle. No, the fuck they didn't. It was, nigga roll the ankle at the park a little bit and be like, tighten their shoe up and get back on the court. That's what the fuck that is. But the media will look, they'll throw anything out there so they can justify just in case something happens. And the Rockets win in Oracle, which is not unfeasible. It's not even a thing. They've done it, how many times they did? They did it twice this year. They did it once this year and did beat them, I think, at home twice and beat them. I can't remember if they beat them both times in Oracle, if they won one here. But, my thing is this. And yes, you need Austin Rivers because you have to be able to combat the light-skinned ability. Okay? We don't have enough of the light-skin correlation to combat their overwhelming brightness, Now, having a guy like Draymond on their team, it dims some of the light. And so we needed Austin tonight to correlate that. But, the Rockets have beaten them without James Harden. They've beaten them with James Harden. And I think we played, 4 times this year? And I think they lost 1. So they're 3-1 against the Warriors this year. So people say the regular season doesn't matter, right? Well, I think it does because I think these two teams have a little bit of history. The Warriors know. The Warriors are fearful of the Rockets. They're looking forward to the Rockets. They look past the Clippers. That's why they lost those games. Because they're looking past the Clippers. There's no way the Clippers should have won a game against the Warriors. And they're looking past the Rockets because they know the Rockets are a better team. Now, they have a better accumulation of individual talents. I'll say that. You got Harden far and beyond the best. Okay, not even close. You got KD far and above the best. KD's only strength is that he's so tall. If KD was Harden's height, we would have never known who he was. Okay, let's just be honest. But KD is just so much taller than people. Like, I don't know why it takes him getting mad to be able to get up and shoot over people. You're like a fucking 7 foot. There's no way there should ever be an issue for you. You should be dropping 50 a night. Steph isn't the Steph who he was. He's now, he's a dependent little broad. He comes out. He's more of a second guy. Clay to me is still better than Steph all around because everybody knows Steph's defense is weak, but nobody calls him out on that. Harden doesn't play defense. Harden doesn't do this. Steph isn't good on defense at all. Like he's the weak link. Like all that shooting. Maybe it's time if you took some of that energy and focused on playing some defense, then maybe, just maybe, we'd have a different conversation. But, it is what it is. He's got great handles. He can shoot. He's a great offensive player. He's not a good all-around player. That's why I say, and I believe it, hands down, if Clay and Steph were to play one-on-one, that Clay would beat Steph's ass every single time. Just because. But let's talk about it, man. I want to know how y'all feel. I want to know what you guys think. I want to know, let me make sure what time it is because, like I said, I know I got in here a bit delayed. I'm going to open up the line shortly. So if y'all got any calls or anything that y'all want to call in, we'll take a call or two if we got some time. What's up with the thumbnail? The angry thumbnail? Hey, look. I'm just saying. KD and Mark, he don't look. How nigga like niggas get in a fight, they won't open their eyes, they'll just be throwing punches with their eyes closed and shit. And that's what I imagine that KD be doing. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I had to do that. You know what I'm talking about? Because, that's my interpretation of James Harden hoeing him. And that nigga don't want to look. He's just gonna be a little bitch. Yeah. Shout out to Asmel. You did. He called that the Texans the positions that they would pick, the last 3. So he said we needed a this, that, and the third, and they got a this, that, and the third. What was it? A running back, a D end, and what was the other pick they picked? A corner. We'll talk about that. Yeah, I saw that. That's a bunch of shit. I mean, they got a lot of shit that they need to feel. But we'll talk about all that tonight. We'll have some regular sauce tonight. So we'll talk about all those things this evening. Let me open up the motherfucking line. Let me do it one time. So I want to know how y'all feeling, man. If y'all got any thoughts or comments, mark my motherfucking words, score predictions, whatever it may be on tonight's game. But going into the Oracle, this year, Golden State has home court advantage, but I don't think that means anything. We can win in Golden State. That's not really an issue. The issue is staying healthy. But what I was saying is they have better individual pieces. You know, people can talk about, well, they've had some emotional breakdowns and disruptions, and they're going to be locked into this game because they don't want to get embarrassed. They want to have their little, you know, they don't want to be upset to their legacy. And what the Rockets need to do, because this will tell them two things. This will change the narrative. Well, it won't, because it's the media we're talking about. But two things will happen. One of those things being, people will start looking at last year's series and say, oh, well, damn, if Chris Paul stays healthy, maybe the Rockets do win that. Which anybody who paid attention knows that, man. Knows that. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling into the Sauceline this evening?
Man, it's your boy, Roman.
Ready, Roman. What you want to drop on the Sauceline tonight, man?
Well, first of all, I think I have the record for calling in first. I think I can claim that record. I'm starting to realize that. But okay, let me get serious, man. First of all, I just received news that Klay Thompson is going to play, him and Curry.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was nothing big to deal with anyway. You said it best, Honcho. It's just the media. Oh my God, the both of the two Splash brothers is hurt. Could this help the Rockets? Man, fuck that shit. I want them niggas to be healthy. Exactly. I want all the smoke. Run it back, like Chris Paul said it best, man. I like playing in Oracle. I actually don't like when we play the Warriors in Houston, because actually we've lost more games when we played them in Houston than Oracle. Recently, not in our full history, but recently we have lost more games in Houston playing the Warriors than in Oracle.
Yeah. It's
something about when we play in Oracle. I like seeing that yellow, because I like to see the disappointment in that yellow at the end when we kicking their ass. You know? So the thing is, I'm happy. I want all smoke. I want KD healthy. I want Clay healthy. I want Kerr healthy. DeMarcus Cousins gonna kiss somebody's ass, you know. And I want the donkey healthy. So God damn it, I'm happy about this matchup. Fuck the Jazz. Clippers, they fought hard, but hey, Clippers, y'all do good next year. So it's time for the real matchup. It's time for what everybody is paying the money for. Yeah. And looking at what we're gonna do, I'm sad that Rivers is gonna be out. But, hey, it's time for Shumpert to step up. It's time for Shumpert, Clark, all them to step up, get their right minutes in. And we just got to play hard, man. When one man go down, it's time for another man to step up. Yeah. So, with Harden, we need 20-point, 30-point Harden. We don't need no starting 15 or starting 0 for 8 in the game. No. We need this team to start off hot to begin with, because you already know the Warriors are going to start off hot. Mm-hmm. You know, it matters on this, Honcho. Whoever starts off hot is most likely going to win the game. It happens that with the Rockets and the Warriors every time. When that time we had scored 15-0 on them, we won that game. The time when the Warriors had beat them, when they scored 8-0 on us, they won. Who gets their shots and their threes off first? And I'm confident. I think this series will go at 7. I'm not going to hold the Warriors and say they ain't going to fight hard, but I have a feeling this year, man, Chris Paul, if he could stay healthy, it's ours, man, because I ain't afraid of nobody after that. The Bucks can kiss our ass. I ain't afraid of the Trailblazers, all the Nuggets, So, hey, it's all that time can see. But I think with this matchup, it's going to be competitive, but I feel like we'll pull it out. So, I can see Harden putting up a good 28, and I can see Paul putting up a good 26, something like that. And I can see us having a balanced game. So, that's my call, man.
No, already, Roman, man. Appreciate the call, man.
Man, anytime.
All right. Man. Man. Look. Oh yeah, the boogie excuse. The boogie excuse means nothing to me, because now, again, like I said, you relegate this team back to basically the same teams that played last year. They can talk about Boogie all they want to. Boogie played a part of a season, a piece of a season, a piece of a burger. You know what I mean? But they'll act like he's been a part of this dynasty for so long and all that. Boogie just came to hitch a fucking ride to be a part of the team. You know what I'm saying? Well, guess what? It's time for KD, if he's so great, or whomever else is so great, to step it up. Look, if the Rockets win, that is what's going to happen. How big of an impact was Boogie Cousins ever been? There's always going to be something that they're going to make up to justify why these guys didn't come out on top. Instead of saying, hey, what, the Rockets are real, they real deal, they've been the real deal, it's just been the Warriors have been able to overcome it the last few years, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he had one game where he was good. What's the motherfucking deal? Because he ain't do good that other one, I don't believe. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling in to the Sauceline this evening?
Perfect.
Already. What you want to drop on the Sauceline this evening, Mr. Wink?
Man, look, this season, this our year, bro. Fuck it, we going all the way, and this is gonna be the building block to start that off. Because I don't really think if we start off and we go 1-up in the Oracle against the Warriors, I don't think they got the makeup to wake that back up, bro. They've already shown the ability to blow a 3-0 lead. Yeah. They've shown that. Yeah. So Chris Paul is the key, man, because he gonna hold everybody accountable. He gonna slow the game down when he needs to, and he's the most dependable player we have in mid-range. Yeah. That's what's going to be the most effective thing about crashing the boards with Capella, ball movement with Harden, Capella, and everybody else, and out hustling these guys is all it really takes. I mean, you don't even have to play like the best, like how we played against the Jazz. We don't even have to play like that defensively, because let's just keep it real. I mean, they don't have nobody that can stop Harden at anything. Mm-hmm. Harden is going to stop himself, if anything, just by not hitting his shots. Yeah. But he's going to have to be more clutch in more than one way, because while hitting shots is going to be cool, I think if he can keep about an average between 24 to 26 points for the series against the Warriors, that'll be enough to win against the Warriors. Sure, he could probably get in a game where he hit like 30 or something, 30 plus, which would be even better for us. But, Capella being healthy and Chris Paul being healthy throughout this entire series, nobody's going to beat us, this season, because this is just our season. They got a certain level of grittiness. They talked all that shit about Harden. Harden heard that shit. He started off the last game against the Jazz, and sure enough, he wasn't hitting that. But once he got on, he got on. And you notice in that Jazz series, the moment he heated up, they immediately started taking timeouts, and it slowed his momentum down a little bit more, because they knew once that engine started, they knew they wasn't going to stop him. But he showed up in another way, which was defensively, something they said he couldn't do. And ain't nobody even giving him enough credit for that shit. And they act like Steph. The biggest concern for me is KD and Clay. Yeah. I'm worried about them way more than I'm worried about, because Chris Paul showing the ability, especially last series we played, he can lock Steph up, no problem. Yeah. Steph wasn't even hitting 20 points when CP3 was guarding him. Yeah. He was getting held to like league lows, you know what I'm saying, in the playoffs when CP3 had to play him. And plus, he got more than enough experience playing against him all the time with the Lakers. Yeah. So as long as no unfortunate hamstring injuries, because more than likely it'll be something like that if anything was to happen. I want everybody to be healthy throughout the entire series. That way, no excuses are being fed, because let's just be real, Boogie, even if he would have played, he probably wasn't going to be a factor outside of getting on the boards. Yeah. Crashing the boards would have been his greatest thing, and not to say he wouldn't have been no shots, but it would have gave them a decent-sized rotation, and they would have been able to play a little bit more physical, and that's what he brings to the table. But whoever Capella has to play against, he gonna dominate. Bring in Fareed as you need to. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully, the minutes that they play, if CP3 and Harden can average at least between 28 to 32 minutes a game against these dudes and come out this series healthy, bro, we finna be able to put another championship on the resume, and we might just repeat next year. And if we win, I'm definitely calling it as soon as the game over there, we gonna repeat. But how you feeling, bro?
Man, look, I'm telling you this, and I agree with you. The Rockets need to take advantage of this, even though they can afford. Really, they have to come out of Oracle with one game, but I prefer it to be the first game, because then that puts the Warriors on their back. I like what you said about CP3, because CP3, I know we all remember the shimmy. CP3 can get in Curry's head, and Curry is weak-minded, and we all know Curry is weak-minded. He started bitching and throwing the little mouthpiece like throwing them little baby-ass tantrums and shit. And, CP3 want all the smoke. He ain't finna have none of that. He ain't finna let you go out there and hold him. So I definitely like the fact if CP3 can stay healthy, I don't think Curry's gonna find a solid rhythm this series. And then, like I said, we can't forget about PJ Tucker, motherfucker, man. Hey, you know that
No,
nigga
we
there.
can't. And Eric Gordon is going to be a problem.
And Gordon has
You
been
know,
playing. Gordon has been a pleasant surprise on defense. That has been the biggest shocker to me, really, so far at this point in the playoff. Will he continue it? We will see. But Gordon has stepped his defense up significantly this year because he was a liability last year. Like that's no lie.
Right.
And I think that counts to the importance of Jess Bizelik because when he first was out early in the season, Rockets defense was poor. They used Carmelo Anthony to blame it on that. Again, I don't know how much of it was beef between Anthony and Jeff. Because it's like when Anthony slid out, Jeff came in, and things changed. So, like I said, I think the Rockets just probably wanted to keep that out the media, which was smart.
Think about it, Honcho. Think about it, Honcho. Not to cut you off real quick, but who else is going to be able to play the scheme that the Jazz figured out that they would be able to play? Who else is going to be able to? Who else is going to be the size of Gobert who's going to be able to crash the boards? Who has more physical forwards than the Jazz, who we didn't put up 4-1.
Yeah.
Like outside of the Clippers, no other team defensively. I mean, maybe you could say Portland, but Portland ain't up to the speed of none of them dudes.
Right.
They're not. So why are we gonna play games with the Warriors when we know we have the better defensive when we got the better defensive talent?
Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm saying, and that's what I'm excited for this one. I ain't gonna lie to you because like I say, they don't have a center who can, and Gobert really didn't even go off last series. Honestly, if you really go back and look at it, he really did not go off.
Gobert was a problem.
His numbers
he was a problem.
He was held. He had a couple of games where I don't even think he had 10 rebounds. To be that big, there's no excuse for him to be 4 points. I think he had like a 4 and 8 game. Like one of them last couple of games, he had like 4 points, 8 rebounds. Like he was there. His presence. This is true. His presence is a problem. But as far as he really wasn't, like I say, necessarily creating opportunity. He was causing a problem for James Harden again. Like I say, being that president lane, making him kind of have to alter his shot a little bit. I will give him that because there are things that don't show up on the stat sheet. But as far as stat-wise, I'm like, these guys, Harden ain't worried about these niggas. If he, like I say, Gobert's a different entity compared to Looney and, what is it, Bogut?
You know why I say it was different? You know why I say it was different? It was different in the first games because offensively, they just couldn't pick up anything that we was doing.
Yeah.
Bro, they just came to the table. Them last 2 games, they figured something out. Like they did something that nobody else in the league is doing, and they doing something that nobody on either side of the conference is going to be able to do. They were the most defensive, probably the best defensive team that we had to play on either side of the ball, and it's not even close.
No.
It's not even close. It's not even close, and we got them up out of there. And we weren't playing no games, and the right players stepped up when we really needed them to, and that's why this series is going to be so pivotal because they're going to have to do more. And like you said, PJ Tucker and Gordon, I just feel like they're going to end up getting hot, and they're going to have, like we already know, Tucker ain't scared of Golden State, and Capella ain't scared of Golden State. Because Capella and Harden was abusing Golden State and been doing it. I mean, so.
But do you think that Golden State gonna try to do some of that goofy shit like the Jazz, where the Jazz implemented that little goofy ass defense where they were playing behind Harden? Do you think
they're not gonna be able to? They're not gonna be able to get to that level. They're not gonna be able to get to that level and lock down. True enough, you got guys that got some length. I mean, as far as KD, but you gonna have KD in a position to where. I mean, I don't really think the passing lanes, even if you do somehow play like that, their team is too small and they not physical enough the way that the Jazz were. They're nowhere near as physical as the Jazz. I mean, and Draymond, if Draymond was to the player that he was a couple of years ago, I might say, maybe they could pull it off. But they not that team no more. So it's no sense in us even lying to ourselves and acting like they pose a problem for us defensively. We shut a couple of things down. If we get on some runs and kill their momentum early, just the same way I suggested that we got to kill the Jazz momentum early. You cannot let these dudes go on those 6 and 7.0 runs. No. The moment they start looking like they're transitioning and they getting, rebounds and second chance points, and we not being effective in the paint. go ahead and take that time out. Stop playing with them. Don't even give them no damn traction to do anything or get anything going.
Man, I agree. Rigo sent in. Appreciate the donation, love. Rigo, I agree. Yeah, if any of these motherfuckers, they're not even just Looney, but definitely Looney. If he does get a block, they will start saying the media gonna start trying to pull some crazy narrative. Talking about he gonna be the X factor on Harden. Like, shit happens. Players make a little play. They start just look. They gonna skew this shit any way they can to just make it look like Golden State is just a far and above superior team. That Golden State's a good team. They're historically one of the greatest. It is what it is. When you got that, when you amass that much talent, it is what it is. You can't deny it.
Right.
But let's not act like that the Rockets. If it wasn't for the presence of a Golden State, the Rockets were setting records all last season. Got off to a slow start this season, injuries in and out of the lineup and everybody. But when they started coming together, come on, man. Let's be realistic. They were, 14th? Harden went 30 for 30. Almost had him in the number 2 seed. Had, was it not Denver. It was a couple of teams that fucking tanked, you know what I'm saying? And if those other teams would have done their job, you're talking about this series, we're talking about playing against, whomever else this series, Portland or whoever else, and then we're talking about the Warriors next series. But unfortunately, the way shit fell.
Year, it's going to feel much better than it would have felt last year. Beating Golden State would feel good, but it feels way better. Reason why they said Muthaf was going to be doing this. Oh, we're going to miss him.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to miss Ariza.
Yeah.
Last I checked, neither one of them dudes is playing in the playoffs right now.
Yeah, they really didn't contribute anything that much this season. And so but the thing about it is why you have to give the Rockets credit for being able to lose what the media said were key pieces, right? And when it happened, you were like, okay, you questioned because you're like, what are the Rockets going to do? These guys contribute on defense, but again, the same way how I felt about the Texans and the Colts with that Colts game. You look at them niggas in the playoffs and they were irrelevant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you got to look at it like that. So okay, I'm not tripping on moving on from it. They were irrelevant. When we needed them, they did not come through. Mabute, after he came back from that shoulder injury, he was never the same like he was early in the season. So, I mean, if they were useless, then, but again, that's like the media hype. Again, they got to talk about, they got to find ways to say that Houston ain't going to do this and Houston ain't going to do that. But again,
they were acting like those dudes were the real reasons we was winning. They were acting like nobody else did anything on defensive ball, and that was just so disrespectful.
Yeah.
It was just disrespectful.
Yeah, and the way they do my boy PJ Tucker, man, like I say, they just act like this man don't exist when this dude needs to be first team all defensive player of the year, in my goddamn opinion. But they, them motherfucker will cover anybody and put pressure on them, but they don't want to acknowledge it. But that's a bet, man.
Yeah.
So what you got on the mark my motherfucking words, man? What's your score prediction
man,
for
mark
the night?
Mark my words, man. We get the win. We get the win in Oracle. I see Harden getting like 26. 26, about 5 steals, 7 rebounds, and he'll probably have like 10 assists tonight.
Okay.
I think that's pretty much what he'll be at. I think CP3 locks Steph up. I think he locks him completely up. If anything, I see them holding Steph maybe to 18. The majority of those probably going to be free throws.
Okay. Steph to 18, majority free throws. All right.
Capella going to get a double-double.
Okay.
He's going to get a double-double. And we're going to get the win. I say 110. I say 110, 103.
Yeah. 110, 103. That's a BET. I got you, man.
All right, bro.
Alrighty, man. Appreciate the call, Wink.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. Shout out to Wink, man. Say you think Capella gonna go off in the first half and they're gonna focus on. Man, here's the deal, right? Like I said, the Rockets are coming together at the right time. The Jazz were They were 1 or 2. They were a top defensive team. So the fact that they were able to make adjustments and to play on Harden, and do it successfully to an extent. And it wasn't even that they were doing it successfully, honestly. It's just that Harden wasn't hitting the shots. Let's be realistic. The Jazz didn't really lock Harden up. They didn't really, because even when they started that shit in the beginning, he was eating. He just was not hitting his shots. Number 2 defense. Okay, thank you. And he just was not hitting his shot. Who was number 1? And so my thing about that is, but they were the most star break. Okay, that's what it was. That's what I was getting something mixed up. I'm like, I've heard number 1, number 2. I was getting something mixed up. But the thing is, that's a great defensive team. Okay, so Yeah, the fact that they can make adjustments and do something to make hard and uncomfortable. You putting a big body in the lane with 7 foot, 7'2", something like that in the lane. You know, big weird looking Frenchman. You know what I'm saying? And nigga look at me. Gobert got that fucking. He got that. He looks like the fucking. You know, the little brown thing from the original Mario. Like the mushroom, but it was like the little Goomba, whatever they call it, the shit that would just kind of go sideways, little brown and white little deal. That's what that thing got a Goomba head. Or he looked like the actual ones on fucking the Mario Brothers movie. That's how his head is shaped. Weird looking motherfucker. They're saying Gobert, not Bogut, Gobert, all these weird names. That shit ain't finna happen, man. Like what I'm saying is they're gonna say anything to make it sound good, but. Actually, as the clock is winding down, we got about 5 minutes or so before we get, a little bit more than 5 minutes before we get live. Couple of things that I do want to say. I didn't see who was reffing the game tonight because that is an important factor. I did not see who is going to be. Ow! Fucking hit my elbow. Let me see who is refereeing tonight because that is important. That is huge because you know if it's a particular player. No false rebuttal. Okay, cool. That's all I need to know. I don't care. Actually, it doesn't matter then. But they gonna pull them motherfuckers out for a special game because they ain't refed in a couple of games. I think they said Foster ain't ref since like Tuesday, something like that. So they'll save him. They'll save him for when they need him. But here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. But what you have to look at is like this. I'm gonna tell you why. What I really feel, if it was purely a talent thing, Rockets in 6. Okay? If it was purely based on the talent of these teams, Rockets in 6. Right? But, because this is the NBA, because this is a business, you know, and because money has to be made. Sometimes we go look and we examine the outer layer of things. Sometimes we dive a little bit deeper. And what I'm saying about this is that I do believe the NBA has their hands in games. That's why you bring in your brothers and your fathers. You got guys who've been in the game so long, one, they don't care if they get fucking something happens. They'll get a nice little severance pack. Somebody will take care of them. They'll be all right. Thank you for adjusting everything that all the games the way we need to do, you know, and here's a little severance package, we're going to take care of you. Tim Donaghy, that's the guy I was talking about. I was saying Denelli, but it was Tim Donaghy. You know, he's talked about it a long time ago, especially when he got his ass busted, about how these guys had their hands and all kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? And so, honestly, if it was minus the NBA tampering, I think the Rockets win in 6. But I'm going to tell you why the Rockets will not win, and I'm gonna be honest with you. And I hate it. It pains me to say this. My pick is Rockets in 6. But the Rockets will not win because what's gonna happen is Rockets gonna steal one at Oracle. That bitch gonna be rocking. They're gonna shut all the motherfuckers down, like Roman said. Golden State may win. Rockets could possibly win too, but they're gonna come back to Houston. Okay. And when you see that screen in Houston and all those fucking empty seats in Houston, the NBA is going to say this is a terrible look for our product. This is a horrible look for our product. Because half the fucking seats are empty in a playoff game. The Jazz game, half the seats were empty throughout in the lower bowl throughout the entire game. The NBA is a product. The Rockets, I believe, are a better team than the Warriors. I believe Rockets in 6. That's my pick. But I would not be surprised if you start seeing some shenanigans in this game. And listen to me. Like I say, my pick is Rockets in 6. But as soon as they come to Houston, well, Houston people, motherfuckers might show up. You're gonna see a lot of people in Golden State jerseys because Houston's they do a bunch of fraudulent shit. You know what I'm saying? Because we got a lot of wishy-washy fans out there. This is a city like I don't understand it, man. Like I don't understand it. I guess because all the California people moving to fucking Houston. But you say it was crowded at the top level, yeah, because the fans that want to go, they want to be there. But shit, they make it too expensive. All like Luke had talked about a couple of streams ago, all this corporate shit. Like, hey, if you're a corporate, like you need to, if a corporation, Like they need to investigate who's buying what. Like if it's a corporation that buys it, like they need to penalize them for those seats that aren't being used. You know what I'm saying? Like they need to penalize them for the seats that aren't being used. You know what I'm saying? And like it should be a charge, or like you could be able to revoke their tickets. Like it has to be something, because there are fans I know that would love to be there. But you got people again like, I don't really care about the Rocks like that. My job gave me the tickets. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Hey, I feel you on that. Take a couple of shots before you slide up in that bitch. Yeah, I understand that. But look, let's be honest, man. Let's be honest. If motherfuckers want to get to the stadium, they'll get to the stadium. It's not even about all the other shit. But, you know, parking can be a mother, you know. But my thing about this is, again, the NBA is going to look at that games, 3 and 4. You're going to say, wow, what is going on here? You know, this shit looks terrible. I couldn't imagine putting this out in the finals or the Western Conference Finals, and one team that's in the Western Conference Finals has half a stadium, right? I couldn't imagine a team in the finals having half a stadium. The NBA is going to look like that. Don't be surprised. Adam Silver or whoever's going to be at the games, you know, this is the most anticipated matchup. Like, they're going to be there. But we'll see what happens. But I'm going Rockets at 6, dog. Let me see some score predictions real quick, man. Let me see some mark my words real quick, man, before we slide up out of here. We got about a minute or so before we get up out of here. Here's my prediction, man. James Harden's going to go off tonight because he knows that they've been talking. He started off sluggish. I think he's going to start off trying to, on some try-hard shit. I think he's going to want it a little bit too much, and he's going to kind of get into a rhythm. I think James drops 32. I think he drops 32. He's going to get his teammates involved. They're going to hit their shots, especially Gordon. I want to say he's going to have 8 assists, and I think that he'll have 5 rebounds. But I think on the defensive side of the ball, he will come away with 4 steals. I think he's going to pick off a couple of passes and get a couple of fast breaks going. I think he's going to be all right. PJ Tucker holds Durant to the mid-20s. Mark my motherfucking words. And then my score prediction. I think the Rockets win handily. Because here's what you got to understand. If the Clippers could apply pressure on Golden State, coming back down from 31, the Rockets can win. This is a much more talented, much more well put together, much more cohesive team. I'm going to go to Rockets game 1. And I'm going to call this one 113 to 106. Okay, let's see. Damn, you're 94 guys. Damn. I'm watching 2 TVs. Bro Lee says 112 to 100. 335 say 113 to 109. I see 101.89 already. Let's see. Rigo say 124, 118. Ah, Rigo, boo. I can't be mad at you. Let's see. And yeah, the Clippers won a couple in the 120s. That's why I say the numbers. But see, the thing is, the Warriors going to be more in tune. They're going to lock in a little bit more against the Rockets. They're going to try to step up their game. I think they're going to end up gassing themselves a little early. They're going to put a little bit too much effort into it. They're going to make the excuse about the ankles and all that other shit. Yeah, I got you. You got 101 to 89 Rockets. Got you. Tucker for 19. I got you. All right, I know it's about to get tooted and booted here. I'm just trying to get the last of these. Can it say 102.97? Already. And Eric Villa say hard dunks on green. Okay. I'd love to see that. Yeah, I think he need that to get him fired up. Green ain't the Green that he used to be. See, what they use dudes like Green, Crowder. See, what teams try to do is they can't stop Harden, so they try to intimidate him. They try to like get in his head, but they don't realize Harden with the shits, man. He may be a goofy looking ass nigga, but Harden with the shits, man. That man ain't having that shit. Like yeah, they think he's soft because he be flopping a little bit, a little bit. But hard shit, he ready to box, man. You know what I'm saying? He ready to scrap, man. So he say he with that shit, man. Let's say Chris with 30. CP3 with 30. I see CP3 with 5 steals. Ready? Let's see. Say what happens. I want my shout out to D and the Sauce. You get the shout out in the Sauce, goddamn. Shit, CP3 ready. CP3 ready to whoop that ass. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That dude, I'm telling you, they've been told to allow the Warriors to get away with shit because they want the Warriors to be full strength for the Rockets. So that's why they haven't been. These motherfuckers have way more text, way more file. They let these motherfuckers be soft to do all kind of shit. Extra stretch. Look, don't overstretch, goddamn. CP3 ready. He's like, look, I owe y'all niggas. I think CP3 gonna come out fierce. I ain't gonna lie. I think CP3 comes out with a double-double. I think he'll have a double-double. I think he'll have double-digit assists. CP3 gonna be out there distributed, and he gonna embarrass Curry. Somebody gonna drop Curry. Curry will get dropped this game. And that's my mark, my word. Will get dropped. Curry will get shook, and they'll blame it on his ankles, man. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he lost Molly. Yeah, he ain't got Molly no more. All right, well that's the deal, man. Hey. Look, man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. We'll see what it looks like. I doubt we do a post-game show, but we may briefly discuss it. We're going to be live talking about the Texas draft picks on the regular Sauce channel. Jalen Johnson, Pierce all picked her out. Well, okay. Yes, I seen Pierce, but Paul Pierce also said he had a better career than D Wade, so that had me a little worried. But that's a bet, man. I appreciate y'all coming through. Hey, Sauce Nation, I fuck with y'all. Y'all the greatest, freshest motherfucking ingredients in the world. And I appreciate y'all showing love, man. Shout out to Rigo. Appreciate the super saucy love. And hey, man, let's make it shake. Yeah, that's always crazy when the Rocks and Astros play on the same day. As long as the Texans ain't around. Look, the Texans, it counts, right? Because the Texans had a bad draft. So that way, that bad draft energy turns into good sports energy for the rest of the city. I think that's how it works. But anyway, I'm out of here. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool. We'll be talking about the draft tonight on Sauce Sports, man. I appreciate y'all. Y'all stay saucy. I'm your boy at Honcho, man, and I'm out.